how do you even vlog? This is gonna be a recap of my January. This is a highlight reel. It doesn't show me glued to my bed crying, but despite all of those moments this month, here are the productive, fun things I did. And I hope that you take something away from it, learn something about real estate, photography, gear, and feel empowered to do something nice for yourself. Here we go. My January, probably like a lot of people's Januaries, started with fireworks. Then I went to get some ramen with Nick after I did my first real estate shoot of the year. I did 9 just this month. Here are my favorite photos from those 9 properties that I took, and I'll be sharing a little bit more about those, but just wanted to give you a little flash of what those look like. I don't do the editing. I work with a company called Windowstill who does all the back end stuff, so I'm very, very grateful for them. I'm there, boots on the ground, taking photos, taking videos, all that. Here's me and Evelyn exploding the hot cocoa bombs at work because they keep the office feeling like a fridge and we need to warm up somehow. January is also when my parents celebrate their anniversary. To celebrate, we went to the Lobster King and had some really, really yummy food. I don't even know what we ordered, but this is what it looks like and it was yummy. Also, I spent way too much money this month on gear, but all super worth it. I finally got an iPhone gimbal. Here's the unboxing. My sister proceeds to give me a makeover to test it out, and it does a pretty good job of tracking. Here's my dad testing out that tracker. I also want to show you what it looks like when it's put to use. This is a walkthrough from one of the shoots I did for a property for sale. I think the gimbal worked really, really well. Like I said, I didn't do the editing, so shout out to Windowstill for all the amazing editing. I plan to keep using it. It really does do a good job of elevating the footage to stabilize. One of my close friends from middle and high school, Emma, had broken her leg and I haven't seen her in months, but I finally got to see her and we caught up at the Pialani Park and watched the sunset. It was a lovely time. If you're ever in town and need some food recs, I can vouch that these are really great places. I don't think I could ever be a foodie vlogger because I'm not a picky person and I love everything I eat. Food in general make me really happy, and having food to put in my belly makes me so grateful, and my taste buds aren't acquired to pick out certain tastes or anything like that, and I'm just happy with anything that goes in my belly. Usually, like 9 out of 10 times, I really don't have a whole lot of negative experiences. So I got a drone, and it was because I got booked for a drone shoot for the property. I didn't want to outsource to a third party, and I was like, I want to take the job, so I need to get that drone in time for the shoot. So I learned how to use it all within like a week. I actually ordered the DJI Mini 3, but it didn't come in time for the shoot, so I just got what was in the store, which was the DJI Mini 2 SE, and it was awesome. Then I watched the sunset, ran out of time, then ran over to my girls' night. I had the most amazing butter chicken in my life at this place, and then we had some really fun dessert. Yeah, the next day I had my actual first drone shoot in addition to the photos that I normally take, and the photos came out amazing. It was the best place to have my first shoot because it was right on the water. The condo was right there. It had such a great view and it was just perfect to get drone shots. I think it's just a total must for any agent selling beachfront properties to take those drone shots, especially if with the mountain view backdrop. It was gorgeous. If I had the means, I would have bought that condo right then and there. And it was a pretty good deal actually for what it was selling at. Later that day, I went to hang out with my friend Julia and we played tourist around the Kahala wildlife area, saw the dolphins, walked on the beach, and she actually knew someone at the Kahala, so we got hooked up with a free meal. Shout out to Julia for having those connections. Then I tried aerial yoga for the first time, which was so cool. I did better than I thought I would. I guess I just feel very comfortable being upside down and up in the air for some reason. And then I went to go watch Nick Swartzen, his comedy show at the Hawaii Theater in Chinatown. Me and Evelyn, we got there early before the rest of our coworkers and we took a bunch of aesthetic photos. And then afterwards we went to the lay stand. It was my first time there and the cocktails were actually really, really good. I got something with some kind of mezcal in it. I'm a huge fan of mezcal, that smoky taste. It was a very cute place. And good food too. We just shared a bunch of poo-poos there, but whatever doughy bread they have, super, super good. And then the next day, I went to hot yoga with my friend Jocelyn, and it wasn't really yoga, it felt like just working out in a hot room, and I hadn't done that in years. The last time I did it, I was in San Diego, and it was like winter time, and it was freezing outside, but here it was like not that cold. It was a little chilly, but I felt like so lightheaded, and the room wasn't even that hot, but I needed to step out. It was probably one of the hardest yoga class / workout classes that I've been to, which was good. It was like a good kind of pain, because that's how you know I'm really working. Upper body intensive. My arms, oh my gosh, just looking back on it was not fun to look back on. The pain I felt after. I went to Redfin for the first time with Jocelyn. We rewarded ourselves because we earned a full meal. We got a poke bowl, we got a steak dish, and the ahi poke tower as well. Everything was amazing, and Jocelyn knew someone at the kitchen who hooked us up with some kind of crunchy chicken situation, and it was really, really good too. Another highlight from this month was watching the sunset for the first time from my office work building. I stayed late to kill some time because it was right before a very last minute Taylor Swift themed 50th birthday party that I agreed to shoot, because I reached out to an agent initially to see how I could help with real estate photos, but she was like, do you do event photography as well? And I was like, why not? And then she told me it was for a Taylor Swift birthday party, and I was like, okay, hell yeah. I was there, and it was at this really yummy Mexican food place called Margaritas, and they were so cute and it was super fun. And at the very end of the party, they did a whole TikTok, and I think it was a success. I got to film it, which was super fun. I felt good being a part of it, even though I was behind the camera. Then they went to a Taylor Swift show after. They had extra tickets, and I wish I had the time, but I'm such a grandma, it was like my bedtime, so I couldn't do it. I know they had a good time, and that makes me really happy. And then for real estate media, I got sent a 360 camera to capture the Matterport 3D footage for the 3D walkthrough tours that people can go on online without having to go into the property. They can see like all the angles. I took some practice test shots in my own home, and these are kind of the screenshots, what it looks like, just flat images. And here is an example of what it looks like, what I did for a client, what the video walkthrough looks like actually once it's uploaded and edited and everything. It was really cool. I also got a second drone. DJI Mini 3 finally came in the mail. Here's just an example of what that looks like. I'm really happy that it all came together. I think my camera was just a tad bit zoomed in for the walking gimbal part. My DSLR, I was using the Sony a6400, and the gimbal I used was a secondhand Ronin SC, and it worked really well. Balancing the gimbal was kind of a lot. I don't know if I did it right, but I mean, my footage turned out okay. It kept vibrating, so I think something was wrong. I'm gonna have to reapproach that the next time I balance out the gimbal. But I'm really happy with how it turned out for the first time as my first full walkthrough shoot. Speaking of women empowerment and girl time, I had another girls' night with Anna at her place and a couple of other girls, and we played games, and we just caught up, and we were like, let's make this a regular thing, which I really need because I need more girl time, like wholesome girl times, and just talked about anything and everything. And I got to play with her cats who loved me and loved my fun pants. And then I think the next day I went to Tentless. It was raining. This is actually cool. It looked like a cliff just dropped off. Found this cool forest hike that I've never done before, so that was interesting. But this weather kind of stayed cold, rainy, windy. So the next day I was supposed to outplant sea urchins for an experiment that Department of Aquatic Resources was doing, and I was supposed to go with the crew, and Mama Mamalu was gonna go help them, and we all showed up, and it was really cool to see everybody, but it was too stormy and windy and cold. The conditions were a little too rough to go and put the urchins out. Me and Alex went to go eat brunch at Cafe More's, and it was really, really yummy. I got a salmon benedict of some sorts, and it was really, really good. And to wrap up my January, I got to be on my first podcast, which is really exciting. It was through Windowsill. They were interviewing me as a photographer for them. Yeah, it was just like a virtual thing online, an online podcast. I like to reflect. I'm a reflector, and I do a lot of writing, but I don't do a whole lot out loud. So this is kind of nice to just kind of say things out loud, because sometimes I'll have revelations when I'm speaking verbally, either to my friends or to a camera or to my therapist, that I can't kind of think of when I'm just writing, because it flows different. I feel like I have like my verbal voice, and then I have my typing voice, and then I have my handwriting voice, And then I have like the nonverbal voice that is communicated through like body language and all that. I guess this is just another form of reflection, and I appreciate you for being here, if you're still here, and coming along on this ride, this vlog journey of mine. I'm still kind of developing what my style is. I'm grateful for you for being here and being along on this adventure with me.
You're too close to me. Oh my god. So, can I get that Remy? Can I get that Coke? Can I get that Henny? Can I get that Mighty Beer? Can I get that salt all around the tray? I was like, yo, Trey. You can be over somewhere. I both say. Okay, let me go. I'm with a bad bitch. She's the space. I don't say hi. I say kiss the bed. Kiss the bed. Kiss the bed. Whenever I'm right into the fence. Bitch, trying to get somewhere. Excuse me, sometimes I'm really young. Baby, and we be doing donuts while we having the 80. We be giving a lot of money to the babies out in Haiti. Yelling on the world. Do you hear me? Do you like my body? And me. Rest in peace, and we're so sick. Yes, my day is so explosive. Say hi to Mary, Mary, and Joseph. Now I'm talking about Joseph. Bottom joke. Oh, it was so beautiful.